I'm pretty sure that's what's been happening. Oh,
Like no sound on, as in like they couldn't hear us talking, or
no sound at all. Wait, don't tell me. I'm gonna actually cry. Yep, we've been playing without any sound at all, and no one's told us anything.
right. We're just that good at being streamers.
Yeah. Hey, so if anybody's actually watching, and if we've been playing without any sound on for who knows how many minutes.
Mhm.
For almost an hour.
It's yeah, sounds about right.
So anyways, if
Sounds
there's anyone
about
in
right.
chat who wants to talk, hello, how are you? Okay, so what were you saying though? About the new computer system?
So the computer system is fine. It granted it should take 3, maybe 4 weeks, depending on how technologically savvy you are.
Hmm.
And she got that down. She knows the system like the back of her hand. But the shit that we tell her, so like she asks questions, which is good. You're supposed to ask questions. We expect you to ask questions when you're new.
Hmm.
And especially if you've never worked in the field before.
Yeah.
Um, so like questions about medical things. Yeah, we'll answer all of those questions. But it has been so frustrating because when you work as a nurse or veterinary assistant, whatever you want to call it, at least at our vet clinic, our doctors, when they're on surgery, we still see pets. You just do everything to the pet, and then the doctor does their exam when they're out of surgery.
Hmm.
So, like, if the dog needs diagnostics ran, you collect your samples and you run your diagnostics. And then when the doctor is out of surgery, they do their exam and look at the results from the diagnostic because efficiency, right?
Hmm.
Um, this girl, we literally have to look at her and say, go grab the dog and like collect your samples. Or she comes up to you and asks if she's allowed to go do that. Which, when you're new in training,
I can
is
understand
fine.
that.
Yeah. But when you're 6 weeks in, you should be able to pull up everything on the computer system, figure out what you need to do for your patient, and then go
Hmm.
grab your patient and do all of those things.
Yeah.
Like at 6 weeks, you should be able to at least get a temperature, collect a fecal by yourself if the dog allows you to, and
Hmm.
then like that kind of shit. Our manager looked at the person who's training this girl and was like, we're in week 6. Why is she not learning how to draw blood yet? And it's because we can't trust her to do anything because she's so stupid. Like, I just, everything we tell her goes in one ear, out the other. We've told her the same things 50 million times, and it just doesn't stick. This girl drives like 45 minutes every day to get to work, and she complains about it all the time.
Why
She's
doesn't
like,
she get
it's
somewhere
such
closer, or is nowhere else willing to hire her?
getting there. But she was complaining about how long of a drive it was because she moved from a relatively large city where everything is close together. So, like, she didn't have to drive long distances.
Hmm.
And where we live now, it's not super rural, but it's not a big city. Like, you still have to, like, you were surprised when I said, like, 45 minutes. It's like a short drive for us.
That is not short at all.
I mean, for us down here, it is. At least
Hmm.
in my area, 45 minutes is a short drive. Like, I drive 30 minutes to work every day. That's a short drive. But she was complaining about how she had to drive 45 minutes to get to work every day. And it was like killing her because we can only assume it's because she came from a larger city. We don't know for a fact why she
Hmm.
complains about the drive all the time.
It's far.
Um, it's really not in this area. But I work for a corporate company. So there are several locations for our clinic that, like, pretty much every larger city has one of our clinics.
Hmm.
When I say larger city, it's not even like that
You,
large of a
you mean
city.
like the size of Binghamton, like 40,000 plus?
Probably less than that, but yeah, like there's like six of them within a 45-minute drive of my house. So,
Hmm.
um, or like I'll say within an hour drive of my house, there's like six of them. And there's one that's literally 5 minutes down the road from her house.
Hmm.
And she didn't know it existed because she moved from a different state. But she didn't know that that one existed until I looked at her. She was complaining about her drive. And I said, you know, there's one that's in the town that you live in, right?
Hmm.
And she was like, no, I had no idea. And I told her, since we're a corporate company, you can transfer to any location as long as like they allow you to.
You don't have to work a certain amount of time in the first location first?
Nope.
Oh, wow.
You can transfer at any point to any location. Whatever is like easiest for you. Or at least I don't think there's a certain period of time where you have to work. There might be, I don't know.
I feel like with
Um,
where I work at, you do have to work like I think 3 months. But I mean, how long has she been working there? You said 6 weeks.
we just hit week 8, so
Yeah, I'm sure there is a period she's made it.
but
By the
there
way,
could be
hello,
a limit.
Alice.
Uh, there could be a limit, and due to her circumstances, they're like waiving the limit and just letting her go because she's transferring to that location. Her last day was yesterday.
Oh well, that's good.
We were all so excited.
That's so sad though.
That's just how bad she, like,
I
when she,
understand. It's
so
just
the way it works in a day is we have two doctors. One doctor has three nurses on their team. One of them is the surgery assistant that helps do surgery stuff. And then
mhm.
the other one has two nurses because your doctor is going to see like 25 patients, 25, 30 patients in a day, depending on who the doctor is and what the appointments are. They'll see 25 to 30 pets in a day. So, in order to make the workload a little bit easier, you have 2 nurses. So each nurse has 12 to 15 pets. And when we have a pet that we need to collect samples on, oftentimes it takes 2 people to collect those diagnostic samples. So when she was working, it was like you're running everything by yourself. You're doing all 30 pets on your own. That's what it's like working with her because of how incompetent she is.
Hopefully she does better in the new location.
I am ready to hear about her getting her ass ripped open.
I always hope for the best in people.
Because one of the doctors that works at other location I've worked with before, and she does not take shit. If you are not at a certain level, you're not allowed to work with her. And she's a very nice woman, as long as you do your job well and efficient
Mm-hmm.
and don't fuck anything up.
Well,
So,
good luck to her.
I have not said a lot of detail just because it's hard to explain. Like, I'm not trying to demean anybody, but it's hard to explain my field of work to people who don't have medical knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of shit that like she has done that has proven she should not be allowed to poke things with needles, and she should not be allowed to work in this field because she is a liability.
Yeah.
for the
No, that's
care.
understandable.
So that's why we're all like pretty excited that she's leaving. This I wasn't there when this happened, but this past week there was a day where she was getting trained at the receptionist desk because something that we try to do is, at least with the people who are willing to, we try to cross train everybody so that
Mm-hmm.
if they need help at the reception desk, you can go help at the reception desk. Our biggest issue is like we have people in the back who will not work up front,
Mm-hmm.
which is not fair to our receptionist at all.
Yeah.
But that's comments for a different day. But this girl, we'll call her M. M this is the same girl as sleeping. She was up front and she answered a phone call. And it was this guy asking if he could bring his dog in because she wasn't doing well. She was very old and he didn't think she would make it through the night, so he didn't want her to suffer.
Mm-hmm.
And she put him on hold on the phone call and went to go talk to one of our doctors to see if they'd be able to fit them in to at least like look at the dog and see what we needed to do. And one of our doctors agreed to see them. So she told the guy to come in at whatever time I think, told him to come in at like 4:30, 5 o'clock, which we close at 6. So
Mm-hmm.
kind of sucks to have it that late in the day, but it happens. He gets there, or the doctor told her to tell him the cost of our office visit fee as well as the cost of euthanasia if that is the decision that he decides to make. So she said she went back on the phone and told him yes, he could come in. And then she told the doctor that she told the guy the price.
Yeah.
The guy comes in, and the way that we do it and then he then decides to euthanize her just because he doesn't want her to suffer anymore, and you know that was the decision he made. He comes in, and the way that we do it is you pay specifically for euthanasias. They pay beforehand, and then that way they can leave immediately after and not have to stop at the front desk.
Yeah.
So as he's going to check out, he's flipping shit about how expensive it is. Granted, with us, it is pretty expensive if it's a dog we've never seen before, because the I don't know, the cost itself is expensive, but I'm not going to get into
Mhm.
that. Just it was more than he was expecting. He was complaining the entire time, during and after. He was yelling at any of the nurses that came into the room to assist. He was yelling at the doctor, saying how bullshit that he had to pay that fucking much. And like, he was flipping shit. And after that euthanasia, um, okay.
What happened?
One of the cats is just being stupid. I will be back. I have to go deal with the cat.
Alright. Alright, so hello to the people who just joined. We've been talking about my fellow idiot's workplace and some drama that's been going on. Alice, are you still there? How's your day going, Alice? Good, good. You should buy Monster Hunter Rise so you can play with me. You should just have Ollie pay for Genshin. Welcome to the new person who joined.
Okay. It was not a cat. It was a snake, but it's fine.
Wait, did you sneak it out?
No. He he vomited, basically.
Regurgitated his food?
No, vomiting. There's a
Oh.
difference between regurgitation and vomiting. Um,
Hmm.
Regurgitation is typically occurs before the food hits the stomach.
Oh, gotcha.
Um, Vomiting is once the food hits the stomach and comes back up. He definitely vomited because I fed him like a week ago. um, I fed him a very large meal, so it snakes are very interesting creatures. They will, if a meal is too large and they don't think they'll be able to finish digesting it, they'll vomit up whatever's left so that it doesn't start decaying in their stomach.
No.
Yeah. And that's what he did.
That sounds disgusting.
It is. I haven't cleaned it up yet. I need to, but I'll deal with that later. So, sorry for anyone who is listening and didn't want to hear that, but that's what happened.
It's fine.
There was just a weird sound that came from that direction, and I was like, what the fuck was that? That's what it was.
Okay, so what were we talking about? We're talking about the euthanasia.
Yes. So he was like flipping his shit, and the girl who made the phone call and did not tell him the price beforehand was not one of the nurses that went into that room. So she didn't get bitched at by him.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the doctor who was the one doing the euthanasia was the wrong doctor to do something like that too. Um, Once the guy had left, sleep. Um, Once the guy had left, the doctor came back and
Mhm.
was yelling at her.
At the.
Actually, at the girl who left.
Mhm.
And she didn't respond to the doctor. He just very quickly ran to the kennels in the back to try and hide from the doctor. Because the doctor wasn't yelling like in her face. She was kind of just yelling into the space, but everything she was saying was directed towards that girl.
Yeah.
And it was very, like, I never say that yelling is warranted at anybody. But in that situation, it very much was.
Yeah.
Because when we do euthanasias, we we try to be respectful and we're just like, hey, this is how much it's going to cost. So if you can't afford that, you may want to find somewhere else to go.
Yeah. I mean, it
Like,
makes sense.
yeah, and like
Have
we're
you
not
made an
trying to
enchantment
take
table
you.
yet, by the way?
Like,
Nope, I'm gonna make one then.
like we're not trying to take people's money,
Hmm.
and we know that for that we are pretty expensive. We're like the most expensive ones in the area, other than the emergency vet clinic. And it's because we don't make our own prices. So
Yeah, I mean that's
that.
understandable.
But like we told her to tell the owner that that's how much it was going to cost, so that he knew coming in, and we could avoid something like that.
Hmm.
And she didn't tell him, and it caused an entire fucking scene because he was yelling at everyone who like came near him or was associated with the euthanasia.
I mean,
And
yeah, I'd be pretty pissed off too.
yeah, I would be pissed off if someone didn't tell me the price. But again, at that point, once you're like told the price, you can leave. We're not holding you hostage.
Hmm.
So there's several things that happened that could have avoided the entire situation.
Yeah.
Uh, it was all just like the worst thing in the world because she didn't tell him how much it was. Because I think it was like $200 for everything by the end of it.
Well, I thought it would have been more. That's still pretty pricey though.
I mean, there are vet clinics that do euthanasias for like $50. It really depends on where you go.
Yeah.
Um, like I said, everything could have been avoided had she done her job properly and told the owner how much it was going to be.
Yeah. No, that's very shitty. That situation's just shitty in general.
Yeah, because he was in distress because his dog was dying,
Hmm.
and you could tell he was very emotional because of everything, which is valid, and just it was not a good situation. And she came in yesterday, so she worked that day, which was Wednesday, and then she was off Thursday and Friday, and then yesterday was her last day. She came in, surprisingly enough, for her last shift. We thought that after the doctor blew up at her that she wouldn't come in.
Oh, was that recent?
Yeah,
Oh, it shouldn't.
Like, it happened on Wednesday.
I
We
didn't think it
were
would be that
very,
recent.
like I said, we were very surprised that she came in. And just,
Does she know she's
she
not
was,
like well liked there, or do people try to treat her?
no, she doesn't know shit. That's how fucking ditzy she is. It's not even because we're nice to her, because a lot of us haven't been nice to her.
Mm-hmm.
So, because of the way that our clinic works, or the way we do things,
Mm-hmm.
at 5 o'clock, which is an hour before we close, is typically when we'll start cleaning the clinic for the night and like closing up shop. And she tries to help clean, but then she doesn't. And she just doesn't do anything. um, this doesn't have to do with that. But there was one day where we weren't busy, but the people who were working, I was the most trained person who was working that day.
Mm-hmm.
And I am by far like out of the people who we have at work who are extremely who are well trained, I am the least knowledgeable when it comes to being well trained. Like I have the least experience
Yeah.
because we have techs that have been in it for like 8 to 10 years, and I've been in the field for 3 years, almost 4 years. But I haven't like had technical training, like technical skills training, except for the past like year and a half. So like I'm the least technically skilled person who is still good at doing technical skills.
Yeah.
Being able to draw blood and place like IV catheters and do all that kind of stuff. So we had a day not too long ago where I was the most trained person working other than the doctors. So, and I was the surgery assistant that day, so I couldn't help do anything outside of the patients that I had for my surgeries. And there were two nurses who were working who are in the process of learning how to draw blood. So they can still they can do it. They're just getting their practice in and getting better.
Yeah.
And then there's the girl that her last day was yesterday. Then there's another girl who can do everything except she's not surgery trained, and then she's not the best at drawing blood. But she can do like everything else by herself for the most part. So it was that day, and it was a struggle having that many patients, and then the only person who, like, not to toot my own horn, but the only person who was like trained enough to do shit technically.
I almost died, Alice.
It was a rough day. But anyways,
I'd
I was asked
imagine.
I was after I finished all of my surgery things, because surgery assistant, once they finish, like, they discharge all their patients, they finish their notes, and like have all of their shit cleaned up, we're expected to help out the rest of the teams, which is how shit should be. Like, that's how you work as a team with everybody.
Yeah.
Because even though we're technically two separate teams with two separate doctors, we're still all one team, and we need to like be able to help each other out. Because that's just a non-toxic work environment. um, I finished all my surgery shit, and I started helping all the teams and get. I started running appointments for one of the doctors because her nurse was busy doing shit, and the only other her good nurse was busy doing shit, and then the other person that she had was M, the girl who left her last day was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And I was running appointments for her because I was done with my surgery stuff. And I looked at the doctor and I said, since y'all were in that appointment for so long, you had 3 other appointments check in while you were talking to that appointment. I went ahead and started 2 of them for you. You just need to look at the pets and then I can send them off because there was no one else who was doing anything.
Yeah.
And M looked at me and was like, well, I'm here. I could have done it. And I was like, I didn't say this to her, but in my head, I was like, one of these appointments checked in 30 minutes ago and had not been
Oh, I'm dead. It's been nice playing with you.
Don't die. Don't do it.
No, I'm withered. I'm gonna die. Wow. Never mind.
I think it still stops on half a heart.
No, that's poison. Wither kills you.
Oh, yeah, you're right. But, anyways, like, there was an appointment that had been checked in for 30 minutes and had not even been, like, talked to. And I wasn't about to, like, look at this girl and be like, go fucking start your shit. I just jumped on it and started doing it because she was just standing in a corner looking around doing nothing. And that was a shitty day. And then there was another day where I was asked to get a blood sample on a patient, and I did
Mm-hmm.
that. And um, I was in the process of like pulling the blood sample, and M is just standing there watching me. And you know how like you're really good at things until someone is watching you do them?
Oh, yeah.
It was that kind of situation. And I was already on a short, very short thread with this girl
Mm-hmm.
at this point. I looked at her and I said, what are you doing? She said, watching you. And I said, no, you're not. I was very short when I said, no, you're not. And I don't snap at people. I really don't. Because I try to be nice to everybody. Because you don't know what they're going through at home. And if they're
Mm-hmm.
having a bad day, then they're having a bad day. But I snapped at her. I said, no, you're not. And she said, well, I don't have anything to do. And I started listing things. And she said that I did that today. And I said, okay. Did you do this? Yeah. What about this? Yeah. Yeah. Um, and then there was something that I listed and told her to go do. And she just walked away and didn't do what I told her to go do because it was something that I knew that needed to be done.
Mm-hmm.
She just didn't do it. I was like, what the fuck?
That's annoying.
It's very annoying. But she's not our problem anymore.
So they ask you to take her back.
I hope not. Because I don't want her back. Bean, leave the crickets alone.
Alright, I got called a wuss by Alice. Because I didn't want to die.
I have to go deal with Bean trying to knock the crickets off the corner again.
Oh, I was gonna say, I'm gonna head off for now.
Oh,
I'm getting
okay.
tired. So thanks to everyone who joined. I'm sorry that the beginning of the stream was quiet, and I hope you guys all have a good one. Yeah, the first 45 minutes. Anyways,
Thanks
good
for joining
night.
my
Goodbye.
stream.